Welcome to KaiChi Live. I'm KaiChi, and this is my review on Doctor Who Series 10, Episode 4. So in this Doctor Who episode titled Knock Knock, we see Bill moving out her foster mother place. She planned to look for another place with 5 other people, 3 guys and 2 girls. Then we get a few scenes of them going to a realtor. The realtor showing them houses not big enough for 6 people. After seeing a bunch of places and them worrying about whether or not they could find one, we see a guy showed up in front of the realtor asking if they want to see a place that he has. We see the landlord taking them to a big place with a bunch of room, but the place is pretty old. One of the guys commented on whether or not if they could go up to the tower, but the landlord shot him down saying no one goes up to the tower. After the landlord showed them around, all of them were excited on seeing how low the rent was, and the landlord pulled out a contract for them to sign. All of them was prepared to sign it, except Bill. After a few adventures with the doctor, she got a little suspicious of the landlord and the building. One of the guys asked if the landlord could move in right now, since the other place is planning to kick him out soon. The landlord agrees. Then cut to night and see the same guy going to the house and choosing a room. After he sat down the place and looked around and set up his turntable, he began to hear noises of the floor and the walls creaking and loud scurrying. After looking out the room of his door and saw nobody, he went back in. Off camera, we hear him screaming and loud scurrying and the creaking of the wood. After the opening, we see Bill packing her stuff. We see her putting the box of her stuff in the middle of the room and then call the doctor. As we see in past episodes, we see the TARDIS materialize in the middle of the room. This time, we see the TARDIS materialize around Bill's stuff. After the TARDIS finally formed, the doctor opened and we see Bill's stuff inside the TARDIS. Bill must have called the doctor to help her moving, since it saves money with the TARDIS. After Bill gets inside, she began talking to the doctor. This is where she found out that doctor species are called Time Lords. She made a joke about being lords. The doctor accidentally dropped a hint about his regeneration, the ability of part of his species. After Bill programmed the address to the TARDIS console, and the doctor turned on the TARDIS and moved it to the place near the house, after he helped her move some boxes outside the TARDIS in front of the house, he got suspicious of the place, similar to Bill when he saw the house. He heard a lot of creaking. At first, Bill mentioned that it was probably the wind. The doctor tested the wind. There was no wind. So basically, this episode has many themes of a haunted house movie. There was a lot of jump scares, and we keep on hearing the wood creak and a lot of scurrying. This is where we found out the monster of the week. It turns out it's some kind of insect that has somehow become part of the wood. And it seems the landlord has been bringing renters, usually 6 people in a group, into the house for them to feed. The reason why he's feeding these insects, as the doctor calls it, space slice or try something. He's doing so in order to save his daughter. We finally get a look at her when Bill and another girl went up to the tower. We see that the daughter was made entirely of wood. It seems like the space slice was consuming human matter into matter in order to help the landlord's daughter. After we see the other renter being consumed by the space slice, one through the wall, 2 of them by the space slice itself, and 2 off camera, Bill and Doctor was the only left. The doctor was able to convince the landlord that he was able to help his daughter, and went up to the tower. We see Bill is still talking to the daughter made of wood. After the doctor gained the backstory on how the space light saved the daughter, and how the landlord was able to control them. I should also mention before that the doctor and with another guy was found a bunch of crates up somewhere in the tower, and we see that the landlord has been doing every 20 years bringing people in for the space lights to feed on. Since the beginning of the episode, the doctor noticed how old the house and why it's not up to code like certain things like the outlets and doesn't have certain things like a washer and a telephone line. Bill was the one that noticed that the landlord couldn't be the father of the daughter since the daughter is very old. Then the doctor finally figured out the landlord couldn't be the father of the woman, but the son of the woman. This upset the landlord since he wanted the doctor to save his mother. The doctor was able to convince the mother that living inside a tower is not living. Going outside is living. He asked her how long she had looked outside the window, since all the window has been shut by the shutters. When she looked out the window, she realized what has happened. She tried to order her son to stop, but her son wanted to save her, would not do so. He tried to command the space lights to attack Bill and the doctor, but the doctor reminded the woman that she's the mother and she's in charge. Realized that she's in charge, controlled the space lights, and once again tried to convince her son to leave. Then she hugged her son and tells him that it was time for them to go. She then ordered the space lights to consume them. After the landlord and the mother disappeared, we then see the space lights rebuild the other 5 renters. After coming back to life, the doctor ordered them to leave the house. Since the space lights was holding up the house together, the house was falling apart. After everybody was able to leave the house and stood in front of it, we see the house fall apart. And the doctor comments that they should go back to the realtor and look for another place to live. Overall, this episode was scary, and like I mentioned before, it has themes of a scary house movie, like a haunted house movie. But the difference is, all the renters are alive, or the young peoples are alive, and the doctor was able to save everybody in this episode. Well, except for the landlord and the mother, unfortunately. As I forgot to mention in the previous recap, there was a door under the school. It seems that the Nordo and the doctor was guarding it. In the last episode, we see Nordo was checking on the door, and after Nordo tried to leave, we see someone knocking on the other side. This of course scared Nordo. But in this episode, when the doctor brought some, I guess Mexican food, or is it Chinese food? I forgot, it was one of those fast food places. He brought some food down to the basement, and we see Nordo checking out the door. The doctor ordered Nordo to take the night off, and he will be the one who guarded the door. We then hear Nordo telling his frustration about the doctor. He tells that he doesn't need to go off-world for adventure, that he can just stay here and have adventure since there are things still trying to kill him. Nordo then hears a piano playing behind the door and asks if the doctor put a piano in there. The doctor orders Nordo to take a night off. After Nordo left, the doctor began to talking to the door or someone behind the door. Whoever behind the door was playing Mozart on the piano. At first, the doctor tried to talk to whoever inside, telling whoever inside that he has a story about a teenager in a haunted house. At first, whoever inside didn't want to, since whoever inside stopped playing. But when the doctor mentioned that one of them might get killed, whoever inside started playing a happy tune. After the doctor opened the door, he tells whoever inside that he's coming in with food. Thank you for watching this video. If you like this video, click that thumbs up button. Click over here to watch my previous video. Click over here to watch my previous review on the last Doctor Who episode. Click over here to watch my next review on the next Doctor Who episode. And click over here to subscribe to my channel KaiChi Life for future nerd and geeky videos. Thank you.